Does your baby feel extra floppy in your arms? Like they just feel really limp and they have a hard time moving their head and moving their body on their own? Maybe you've brought them to the pediatrician and you've heard the word hypotonia or low muscle tone, and now you're just confused on what to do with that information. I'm Dr. Steve Lako with Lako Family Chiropractic. I'm a pediatric chiropractor specializing in pediatric and pregnancy. And today we're going to review what hypotonia and low muscle tone actually means and how often it's related to what your baby went through during pregnancy and birth. And then also what we do and what we see with the babies that come in our office with hypotonia, that we are able to build better, stronger connections for them. Let's start with what parents usually notice. These are the babies that when you pick them up, they just go limp. They are not activating their muscles and they just allow you to do all the movement and all the work. They're also the kids that don't easily pick their head up, or they can't pick their head up at all. It kind of just falls from one side to the other, forward and down. These are the kids that have trouble during tummy time. They can't pick their head up during tummy time. They can't start to roll over. And they also get really exhausted during feeding or any kind of play that they're doing. When parents hear the word hypotonia, their minds usually go to severe diagnoses like cerebral palsy or genetic disorders, which they can be the cause of this. But what we see in our office is a very big disconnect, miscommunication between the nervous system and the brain. See, when the nervous system and the brain are communicating well, it works a lot like Wi-Fi in your house. If you have a weak signal, the signal going to those muscles are not going to contract, coordinate, or stabilize properly. And that's when you get this low muscle tone appearance. Tone isn't just about strength, it's about connection. Tone is controlled by how the brain communicates with the muscles, and that's all through the spinal cord and the nerves. When this is all balanced, the baby has just enough strength to resist gravity, to stabilize themselves, and to control smooth movements. But if those pathways are disrupted, usually from a difficult pregnancy, difficult or stressful birth, early development, those signals can become weakened, and that's when the brain is trying to send those signals to the muscles to contract properly, but it's just not getting there. So these aren't weak muscles, they're not lazy muscles, they're muscles that aren't getting the proper stimulation from the brain telling them to contract. And that's when we start to see that limp or low tone baby. I often tell parents the story of the baby's tone starts way before tummy time ever starts. It can start in pregnancy. So we learn the story of how pregnancy went. If the mom was anxious or stressed, maybe a high stressful job, if they were put on bed rest, if the baby's position was incorrect during the course of the pregnancy, this can all influence how the baby develops in the womb. And then we look at the story of birth. If birth was very stressful, if there was a very quick delivery, or if there were a C-section or forceps or vacuum extraction, these can all put a lot of stress on the baby, especially in that upper cervical spine close to the brainstem. When there's stress on that brainstem, especially in that upper cervical area, that's the area that controls things like digestion, coordination. Muscle tone is a big one in that area, and that's usually where we see problems lie in these kiddos. When I assess these kids in our office, we are not only looking for muscle strength, muscle tone, are they able to hold their head up against gravity on their own? Does it have to be assisted? Like, we're looking at all those things, but we're using our technology in our office. The technology tells us where these problems are, not only locally, but globally in the entire system. It shows us the severity of how severe these interferences are in the nervous system. It can also tell us how long and deep-rooted these issues have been. It shows us pattern work of what pattern is specific to your child, not just generically like all kids that come in with low tone. It's very specific to each child and each scan. And then we periodically get to do these scans throughout their care to monitor how their nervous system is improving and how their symptoms are getting better and they're able to flourish and do so much better. Low tone doesn't mean low potential. Your baby's nervous system is plastic. That means that it can adapt, it can grow, it can reconnect. Every single cell in our body was developed and created to heal. We just need to find where these areas of miscommunication are and reestablish that connection to be able to have the body work the way it was intended. So that just comes with consistent care, using our technology to assess and monitor what is going on in the baby's body and the nervous system, and knowing that your baby can heal beautifully. I know it can be scary to hear these words from pediatricians and other doctors, the hypotonia, the low muscle tone. I see it in the parents' eyes. They just want answers when they come into the office. If your child, and you can see that they have low muscle tone, they're very limp or floppy, it doesn't mean that there isn't help for them. Oftentimes, we can relate this back to the nervous system not working properly. And if that's the case, we would love to help. So if you're looking for more answers, make sure you like and subscribe to this page. We have tons of information on neurology with kids and infants, even with pregnant moms. And it will start to connect the dots and start to answer some of these questions that you have. If you have more questions, please feel free to reach out. Even if we're not in your area, we will hook you up with a pediatric chiropractor that we trust so that you can get some answers for your kiddo and get them on the road to health. I'm Dr. Steve Lako, and I'll see you on the next video.